I'll be showing you this design for a hybrid Merlin Blackbird camera stabilizer that builds off all sorts of great ideas people have been sharing. Has a few distinct advantages I'll point you to. First of which is this is built entirely with off-the-shelf parts that are cheap, readily available, and requires no special tools to construct top to bottom. It's also designed to accept this Manfrotto base plate, which makes it great for quick changes in the field. And of course uses a gimbal design that many folks have used out there that I'll touch on briefly. You'll get a full parts list at the end, but just want to point you to a few elements of this design, starting with the main body, which is actually just a $6 ladder hook from Home Depot. As you can see, something you would attach to a wall and hang your ladder on. It's great because it's solid, tubular steel, I think, has two pre-drilled holes well spaced and a flat surface that's important for mounting our top unit here. So this top unit simply consists of two 6-inch bolts that are mounted onto these universal brackets I found at Home Depot, which are really important because they let you mount the whole thing with 1.5-inch screws to the ladder hook and provide this stable platform for the railing that you see here. So that you're able to mount a quick release plate to your camera directly, you'll need to make sure the rear screw shows a little more thread, and you simply do this by playing with spacing using nuts and washers like so. Another little detail here is that I've just taken the plates off these standard U-bolts to help seat the two 6-inch bolts that serve as the rails. At the rear I did have to throw this plastic zap strap on as I couldn't affix the back as tightly with locking nuts. And that just helps create a even and parallel distance between these two bolts, which is super important for this gimbal, which slides front and back, which allows you to adjust the center of gravity to accommodate different lens and body configurations. So as you see a recap of this top unit, really important to point out that I've used locking 1/4-inch nuts, the ones with the nylon threads I find work real well, to make sure that all these components are secure and don't loosen over time. Another really important part in this build is this electrical ground clamp, which is very useful because it has this centered screw that allows you to use it to hold weights in this instance, but also mounts very securely onto the body of this unit. Another thing I'll point out is you look for this PVC arm as the extender. Look for this lower profile, smaller angle version, not the one I'm holding in my hand. It just gives you a better balance overall. To mount this piece of conduit onto the frame, you'll just need a 1-inch male connector that I've rubber cemented onto the ladder frame for a secure connection. So for the weight platform, I've simply taken what used to be these double-eyed tension rods to connect cables, removed those, and inserted, pointing outwards, two 3.5-inch threaded bolts that are used to receive these standard washers. Affix that to the PVC conduit by sandwiching using two washers and this screw right onto this electrical ground clamp you saw earlier. A little detail I'll mention is that once you have this weighted for your camera, you can make micro adjustments with the wing nut and standard nut that holds these washers in place. Serves as a good platform for a freestanding unit, mind you, without the camera. And with just one simple screw, you can take this off and pack it down for travel or increased portability. You probably noticed by now that the weights I have on are really biased to the left, and that's because I use this for a Canon 7D that's fairly right heavy, and unlike the top where I've figured out a way to adjust center of gravity front and back, I've yet to kind of find an elegant solution to adjust the horizontal weighting. I know a lot of the commercial units have an ability to kind of make micro adjustments to adjust that horizontal center of gravity. So if you have any ideas to build on this, more than happy to see them. I'm going to go quick on the gimbal here because there's lots of great DIY videos that use this design. The little quirk I'll point out is the hose cap that I've used on this PVC adapter that sandwiches it to the top railing. Would just point out that I've cut the ends off this PVC shim or connector, and that's what I used to help seat with some rubber cement the two skateboard bearings that are inside the top and bottom of this unit. Also used the full version of this. At the bottom here, slid a rubber bike grip, and there you have it. Gimbal that uses that popular Traxxas 5151 RC drive shaft design. A design that lots of people are using that I find works real well. Okay, before we get to some test footage, we'll give you a quick peek at how this unit looks with a DSLR mounted. And off we go.